I also played Reanimal with Greg. I don't know if we want to talk about that without Greg, but maybe you guys want to, and I will chime in. But I do feel bad that Greg, my partner, is not here. But we did play through Reanimal together. And that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, maybe these guys will bust open the doors on that a bit.
Kerslam.
I was thinking about it, but I really want to rub in some things that I
Should
I
we
don't know,
wait
but I
on
think.
And you think Greg would react better? I
I
understand.
feel like maybe we should wait on it.
Okay, let's wait. Let's wait on Reanimal.
Let's wait till everyone's
Should
strong.
we say anything, or
I don't want to beat down my friend.
I don't know, Vito, but you're gonna have to figure it out quickly because it's now your turn.
Well, that was all I had.
Well, no, Vito. We'll give a very quick.
I mean, you can talk about it, Vito. We're going to talk about it again, so just keep that in mind. But if it's all you got, we'll see what you got to say.
Give me 5 words or less. How's that sound?
That's so few.
IGN gave it 9.
Right, but I want to know how you felt about it. That was
Hold on, wait,
really good 4 words, though.
No, he's still got one more word, Andy.
Why?
All right,
Boom.
okay. He's got it.
Oh my god, the upset.
He fucking did it.
Like I said, we'll
also, that was such drama in just one word.
Well,
that was great.
That was good.
How about I talk about it, because I didn't play it, and my thoughts
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, go ahead.
I watched
I didn't think of that.
Primarily the last 2 chapters, I think, happened. That game looked like it sucked, man. Maybe it was a lot more fun to play, but
I don't think at any point until Andy was watching like the last chapter or so did I say like, wait, does this game suck? Like it was fine the whole way through, and then when it kind of wrapped up, I was like, wait, that game kind of sucked.
It'd be really funny if all of the 3 players on this podcast didn't like. I actually don't know Greg's opinion about the. It's not like we discussed like our. It's not like we
don't talk. You guys don't share. So you and me and John like
they
played
the entire game and
see we were enjoying it the entire
anything.
time and like talking the entire time. But I don't know his like. We didn't do like what's it called?
That's crazy. I know everything John's thinking at any moment of the day because we bonded so. Actually, we really did. I mean, it was kind of I'm glad we played Reanimal because it closed. It bookended it bookended a very ancient what would you call that, a curse we had. We really went full circle with Reanimal, and we can talk about that, I guess.
Well, I'm going to sandbag any competitive like nonsense that you guys are talking about. I'm just not that guy. But I will say that me and Greg were very much in sync the entire time, and we very much enjoyed like playing it during the time we were playing it, as far as I know. What I'm saying is that Greg did not explicitly. We didn't do like a fucking wrap up aftermath like breakdown. I can't think of the word, but we didn't do like an
after action review.
Yeah, an after action review of how we felt about the game overall. All I can say is that moment to moment, my perception was that we were both enjoying playing the game and playing it together specifically, and we were very much in sync with our actions the entire time. It felt good. And what I was going to say is it would be very interesting to me if it turns out that Greg would come down on the game more harshly than I perceived after the fact, because it would be funny if I'm the only one who like just had a fine time of the 4 of us, and the fact that I also think I like Little Nightmares probably the least out of any of us.
Little Nightmares,
and so
the series,
yeah. So I carried over my like general less than perfect enjoyment of Little Nightmares into this. And so my expectations were set at like a certain point, and I just enjoyed this game for what it was.
I don't know that I was walking in thinking this was going to be like some sky high game, but we were stoked because it's the original Little Nightmare developers. Was it Tarsier?
Tarsier. Or maybe it's Tarsier.
Something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah.
I think it's Tarsier. I think that's like an animal or something, like a monkey or some shit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I just never said it before in my life.
We really liked the first 2 games. We never played the third one, but I think we will.
We don't know.
You know, play right now? Is that what you said?
No, I'm like, we didn't play it yet, and it's like if we didn't play it, like I wouldn't have been upset. But like now that like Reanimal disappointed me, I'm definitely gonna play Little Nightmares 3 because if Little Nightmares 3 is worse than this, I have to see it, I guess.
Yeah. I know. I agree. I think I'm in for this exact same reasons.
That's funny.
But this game got like stellar reviews. Like I said, IGN gave it a 9. How?
Damn.
All right. Even if I like
pricey.
really love this game, that is fucking batshit. A 9 out of 10? I mean, come on. 9 out of 10 gets reserved for like some of the best fucking games. You're saying this game that's first off, it's a $40 game and it's like 8 hours long tops. And it's so limited. It really is a walking simulator pretty much. It's very minimal on interactivity. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. The story is non-existent. I mean, really, what is the substance here? It's very artistic, beautiful game, great environments. All of the Little Nightmares games have very minimal storytelling, very weird stuff happening, loose-ish story. But, when we were playing those games, we came away from both of them like thinking about the story, even though it, who knows how much sense it really makes. But like, I don't know, it had a lasting impression. We were trying to, pick it apart and figure out what the game was telling us. This game to me really just felt like there was nothing really important going on.
I could agree
also
with
maybe
that, yeah.
I also felt like the visual themes were so played out, like sheep, and I don't know. It's just, and maybe the sheep is, I don't know. The only the plot that I would try to put together is like the sheep is like the birth of like, Satan or something like that. Coming to, the world is in basically like a post-apocalypse, and maybe this sheep is like the what would you call it, like the 4 horsemen, like a whatever you call it, like a biblical kind of thing coming to the world.
Well, yeah, I could see what
like,
you're saying in terms of the consequence for actions, in that like the sheep represents the death of innocence, or like the corruption of innocence, and so it's like karmically coming back on the people.
The world's in like war
characters.
and doing terrible things to each other. There's creating monsters, and the world is just this monstrous thing. And then I don't know. That's the only. But I feel like that theme is like. I mean, I don't know. Is that really novel? If that's all you got.
There is not much substance to, like, even if we interpret it that way and we have like a concrete thing for, okay, what is this trying to say with this one pillar of like of story that it even has?
Yeah.
There is nothing else. Like there is no other lore to uncover or anything like that.
And this is the first of these games to have dialogue.
Two dialogues.
Two dialogues. But like, why even have it? Like if there's even
I was
less
so surprised
storytelling
when the second
than
one
other
came
games.
around like hours later. I was like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I were given numbers, and I know we don't give numbers, but I'm gonna give a number. I mean, I would give this thing. First off, I think if even if you really like this game, it's no higher than like a 7.5. But I mean, I would give this thing like a 6 or a 5. I was fine. And you know what? I did, just to comment on what you were saying. You had a great time. I had a great time playing with John. At no point was I like, I don't want to play this. It's fun to, I don't know. Me and John, we play all these games together. So like, I had fun playing it. But just commenting on just the game's quality, it was not very good, and certainly not anywhere near 9. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, so like technically it was laggy in spots, and like we had a desynchronization of game mechanics at one point, and it crashed for me after 4 hours of play. There were technical issues. I think those things will be ironed out. But in terms of the actual gameplay itself, I don't think I ever thought that it was anything but solid. Like I never thought it was anything but very like playable and I think me and Greg both felt it was fine, in terms of the actual playing of it.
It was
so
fine.
that combined
I didn't
with
feel
vibes,
like there was much. I don't know. I got to go back and play the original Little Nightmares, and even though those two are very simplistic walking simulators, I felt like they had, if you want to call them puzzles, that were a little more interactive. Than this game. I feel like this game truly was like a just push forward. I mean, occasionally you have to stealth through areas, but there wasn't really too much. I mean, I remember all the other games, like the last one had like the flashlight, part. Oh, and the fucking, if making this co-op, I mean, the only features that were co-op were horrible. Making one person control the camera while one person moves for all of the vehicle sections, it was god awful idea. I mean, it's
that's
terrible.
So funny. I don't think we had a problem with that even one time. That's so weird. I don't think it worked so perfectly for us.
We didn't have an issue like it was stopping us or slowing us down, but it was like, I don't know.
My head is always on a swivel.
His head's up first off. His head is always on a swivel.
Literally, do not stop.
He did not stop moving. So I'm gonna fucking throw up. Like I'm trying to drive in a certain area.
I didn't know it was affecting him for a while though. He was just going with it. So I'm not even trying to lighten up a little bit. I'm just always scanning the horizon, left, right.
Yeah, I think we were playing. I had a couple beers too, and it's just the camera's just fucking spinning, and I don't know which direction it's gonna go. It could go anywhere. There's no way to predict it. And yeah, it was like borderline nauseating. But it's just, I mean, that's not a fun mechanic. That's not like a co-op mechanic, splitting one player's inputs into two players. That's not like a novel way of doing co-op or a way that's an engaging way of doing co-op. It's actually lazy and stupid.
I completely agree that that's funky on paper. Like if I hadn't played this game, I would 100% agree with you. And yet somehow in practice, it would be really funny if Greg comes on this podcast and completely contradicts me and says, "Oh, I had the novel experience with this and that and this." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know." It seemed like you didn't mention anything about that.
Or were you the guy who because pretty much the whole game, I think there was one exception, it was very small.
I drove everything.
Vito always drove like the boat or vehicles, and then I was always, the other person. Did you guys do that?
I think we switched off during the course of the game, and in our what of a second playthrough we did play, which we didn't.
It'd be really funny if Greg was like the driver, and you were just fucking him up with the camera, but he just didn't
want to say anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we seem to be doing well. I mean, it seemed to be going well. Nothing came up.
To throw my few cents in, it's definitely my least favorite of like the co-op games that we have played together, and it's pretty high bar, you think like, well, pretty much all the
Takes
Two,
Fiction.
the A Way Out, the whatever, the one I'm forgetting, but even against the Little Nightmares, I mean, like, I genuinely feel like we spent equal, maybe slightly less, but very close amount of time looking and not finding like hidden areas in the game, and kind of like expecting them to have like, oh, reward me for exploring this like extra area you put here, and 8.5 times out of 10 there was nothing. You know what I mean? And it was just a super bummer. And I feel like even in their previous games, Little Nightmares had plenty of little side rooms and weird stuff you can find. And I guess even moving outside of that series, like games like Inside, it wasn't a sequel, but the Limbo people, they made that afterwards. They had like a really cool like puzzle that you could solve in the game, and then there was like an area in the beginning of the game where you could open a hatch and find like a whole extra little part of it, and maybe this flew over our head and we didn't find it, but I would find that impossible, and I just don't think any of that was in this game. There was even a section, it's a tiny, the tiniest bit of spoilers, but whatever, it's a fucking 6-hour game. Whatever, like section 2, you come across like a box and it has a series of dots on it. And Vito immediately, he's like, dude, We got to remember that. We're gonna put that in somewhere. And same thing. I was thinking, oh, dude, we're gonna remember that. We're gonna get rewarded for like we're gonna get a hat or something. I didn't want anything fucking big. I didn't want like an extra chapter of the game. Just show a little hat or something. So we go through the game. We get to like chapter 4. Basically, take you back to that area. They take you to a puzzle where you have to input a code, and then they give you binocular just to look directly at like the box again. And it's just like, all right, well, all right, we just get nothing. We just get to look at the box.
Yeah, I would have felt good if that really was like a secret.
Like, why even put the box in the first place?
It was just a normal progress thing, and they actually give you binoculars to re-look at the thing. At it.
It's like, why even have there in the first place? I don't know.
Yeah, there was also a lot of areas where it was like we were really rewarded. We're not getting rewarded for exploring. It really truly was an extremely linear game. The secrets were like super minimal. I mean, we were scouring areas. There were so many areas where like, oh, there's got to be something here. Got to be something here. Only for it to be like an invisible wall. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel like they could have hid little secrets better and I would have felt better. Instead, we were just constantly like disappointed. And then we beat the game and we like missed a couple of hats even. And I looked them up and like, I mean, they were good. Those were good secrets, I guess. But I guess we did miss like 2 or 3. But
well, one of the hats
that was surprising to me because we missed some too. And what'd you say?
Well, the ones that we missed were all.
But the cone one was just out in the open. I think we just didn't grab it. We just walked by it for.
I think that was one. Well, there was a lot of areas where it wasn't clear. Wasn't like immediately clear that this area is progression and you won't be able to turn back. A lot of areas like that. And that would happen like right at a fork where there's definitely a hat in the other area. So, and we would always stop and think like, no, wait, this has got to be the progression way, right? So we got to go this way. And it's like, and then we'd end up being like wrong because it just
we did do that a few times. I think we got lucky most of the time, actually.
Well, I think we definitely ended up wrong at least once. I think that was the cone head, and then the other
the cone is in like a side room in one area.
Yeah, it was just a door we didn't go through. We went through the other door, and then I think like we just ended up going on the route progression. Yeah, and then the other 2 ones we didn't get, which are good secrets. I'm not complaining, but we just weren't paying attention, or our minds weren't wired for this. It was like not just finding secret rooms, but it was like interacting with objects in rooms that would trigger something that would get you a hat. Like
we did that a lot too, though. We did a few of those. We did the popcorn machine. We did
I guess we did a little bit of
cans. No, we definitely did a few of them, and we tried to do a few more. But anytime there was like a room with like a random can, I mean, we would run around for like 10 minutes, trying to put it anywhere. So I mean, we did do some of them.
That's true. Yeah, but I guess we missed. Fucking dude, one of them boggles my mind. And I just read the description. I don't know what it actually looks like, but it was like we had to open an oven and a rat runs out and then the rat goes into another room and then we just follow the rat. You're telling me we missed an oven that you could open? I mean, I really mean it. We put our hands on every pixel on every room. If there was something that you could interact with, we just
didn't follow the rat. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I only remember the rat the one time that we followed into the one secret room where we got the frog hat.
I do remember that.
But if there was a fucking oven that you could interact with, there's no fucking way we didn't interact with that oven. We interacted with anything that was interactable. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Anyway, you get to last.
I just want to say a thought about like something that you guys have been circling around and why I think this game wouldn't be more than a 7, like in my book, if I did ratings. And it's something that you guys are kind of talking about, which is that the game is a solid enough, refined, like core experience of what it is. As you said, it's not that long. But it is exactly what it says on the tin. It's exactly what it is and no more. And with a game like this, especially from a studio that has done these types of games before, you go in wanting like to be surprised at all. There is no surprise here. There is fun stuff to see and the setting is like cool, atmospheric, but there's no passionate surprise to the game at all in terms of like extra stuff or like unexpected elements of gameplay mechanics or like areas to go to or puzzles to solve or whatever, or even lore. There's no lore whatsoever. So it's like all these things are just not there. It's just that narrow, linear, as you said, core experience that I think works well enough for me. But I completely agree that like it's disappointing in that way because there's just it's exactly what it, you know,
room for more. Yeah, no, I think
exactly what it is and no more.
I guess
that's good.
My last negative point, and maybe they did this on purpose, I don't know. You know, with Little Nightmares, well, 1 especially, but even 2, you know, each section you go into is like so distinct and different. It's like, oh, dude, new area. I did not feel that at all in Reanimal. I just felt like it was like I don't know, is this a new level or just a new area of the same
just
level?
destroyed,
you know what I mean?
city.
And like I said, maybe they wanted to change that. Maybe they're like, you know, we don't want to have these, you know, oh, you're in the green area, you're in the pink area, you're in the orange area, you know, but like, I don't know, I think it works better. I don't know. I can't even like, it's hard for me to even like remember a specific room or place in Reanimal.
It was
like,
all
about Little Nightmares,
city,
I can think
much.
of tons of, you know, the kitchen and stuff, or like, you know, the dining hall with all the fat people. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it just,
there's a lot of variety.
More, yeah.
Yeah. And I agree in retrospect. I think going through the game, I liked the visuals and where we were. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot more variety in the levels and Little Nightmares.
I think another part of it is that like, or for me and Greg's experience, and I'm just speaking for myself. I don't actually know Greg's opinion. But what I perceived during our playthrough was that we were at least enjoying, like you just said, Vito, the feel of the settings and the ideas of like the creatures that we were encountering and stuff like that. We both love the horror trappings and stuff like that. We play those types of games all the time because we enjoy like any sort of, it doesn't have to be novel. It just like any sort of like fun, creepy things. And it can get, you know, in certain games it can get lame or whatever. I don't play the lame ones, you know, I try to go for I think it had like fun stuff to look at and run from and then sometimes fight in like boss fights or whatever.
Well,
I was not you know, necessarily disappointed in the ideas, the concepts of those things. And weirdly, also something I want to mention, a surprising amount of Studio Ghibli influence that I was noticing throughout the game. Several areas and like enemies and stuff like that were actually felt inspired by Ghibli stuff. And I was like, huh, what an interesting, because the you know, tone is not the same at all. It's much more like dark and creepy and horror-ish. But a lot of stuff felt inspired by Ghibli movies. Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, especially. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but I mean, it's, you know, these studios, they take their influences, and Ghibli's a big influence for a lot of people. Anywho.
Hey, animal. When you do your job right, people won't even know you did your job at all. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just
if you think about that, that's
22 minutes ago, Vito said, I got nothing. Oh, I guess I'll talk about it next week. And all I did was say that game looked like it sucked. And I just sat back quiet while you delivered a great roundtable. Hey, you're welcome, Vito. And you're welcome, listeners.